Hello everyone, and welcome to the biggest brick film contest of the year, BrickStars 2018. This year, we've expanded the contest and modified the rules to make this the highlight of the brick filming year. There will be no more categories, just an overall ranking. To participate, enter your best 2018 brick film into the BrickStars contest via the BAB website. That's simple. The top 10 brick films will be presented, with the top 10 brick filmers awarded prizes. There will be 20 winners, 10 on the English side and 10 on the French side. We believe in you guys. You'll do great. If you want, you can register as a member of the jury. Be prepared to see some great films and leave some constructive comments on all entries. May the best filmmaker win. Give it your best, and let's end the 2018 brick filming year on a high note.
Yes, that's me. Hello. I'm birthday. Maybe. Don't do it, no. I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Yay.
We've got a lot of we got some cool stuff to talk about today. You might notice that the layout is a little different over in the hosts and guests section there. We were having some technical difficulties with our OBS stream layout, so sadly you won't be able. Pretty much, yeah. Sadly, you won't be able to see exactly, who's talking when. There's really no indicator of that. But it's just the three of us, so luckily that makes it a bit more manageable. And I think we all have, distinct enough voices that you should be able to tell who's who. But yeah, so we wanted to start off by talking to our guest Slotborg here a little bit about the 25 Brick Films of Christmas collaboration that he has graciously helped to put together for this month. And we also just wanted to ask him some questions about his channel and just kind of how he got into brick filming and stuff like that. So I guess to kick things off, so how long have you actually been making brick films for, Slot?
I think I started in 2015.
Very, very nice.
I guess relatively recent.
Yeah.
Nice. What kind of got you into the hobby?
There was like a project fair or something for homeschool group, and someone was showing off their animations, and I thought, whoa, that's so cool, I want to do that. And so I did it. And now I'm here.
That's awesome.
Was that other person a member of the community, or they just kind of do stop motion for...
I don't think they're part of the community. I've tried finding them, but I've had no luck.
Rats.
We'll have to invite them. We'll have to make sure that they sub to Pong Owl.
Yes.
Exactly.
There we go. Nice. So, what would you say is your favorite type of brick film to make on your channel?
Comedy.
Yeah, join the crew.
One second.
Recently watched some of your videos where you've been experimenting with the Slotborg puppets, which is pretty darn cool. You want to talk about those a bit?
Sorry,
Where'd he go?
I'm back.
Oh, there we go. For a second, I thought my computer was freezing, and I'm like, no, it's episode 4 all over again.
But yeah, Chris's question was, so you've been animating a lot of stuff with those Slotborg puppets recently. So has that been like something you've been interested in making a lot more animations with recently?
Yeah. I'm still experimenting with them.
Yep.
Yeah, they're really neat, honestly. I've thought about picking up doing something in the same style, but I've never been able to really stray away from the minifig side of things. I just love using them. But I don't know. I'm assuming soon, probably for THAC, I might do something a bit different, but still up in the air at this point. So.
Yeah, I used to do like a fair amount of bionicle brick filming at the time. That was pretty cool, and that is probably the closest to puppets I ever got. What I really like about yours is that you use the small joint slot board, like the really small ball joints.
Mhm.
The Mixel style ones.
Yeah, like how do you have so many of those? You just buy a bunch of Mixels, or?
Yeah, I just bought a whole bunch.
Nice.
Like
Huh.
100 at a time.
Oh gosh. So how do you
I
source the
wish.
new joints now that Mixels are gone?
Wait, what?
How do you source new ball joints though now that Mixels are done? Do you just have to grab them from other sets, or?
I just grab them from sets or Bricklink.
There we go.
Yeah, I do notice that they have been starting to use them. Like one of the new Spider-Man sets, the Spider-Man like the Venom mech one.
Yeah.
I believe that I watched a review yesterday, and it looks like that one actually has quite a few of the ball joints in there. They've actually really started to allow for them to be available, pretty readily available in a lot more sets than just what we're usually seeing in the Mixels. So it's honestly not super hard to come across them nowadays. But
Yeah, I got quite a few here. I'm tempted to try a slotboard puppet of my own. Which actually, that just sounds like a cool name. Like the slot
a major.
part sounds like Lego, and the Borg part sounds like some sort of automaton. So that is the perfect. Like, market this, man.
One.
Put a little TM right after that and run with this. And that's when you're rich and famous.
Exactly. Please, any money.
Cool. Speaking
But,
of rich and famous, Christmas. 25 brick films to Christmas. Because the story of Christmas is about the complete opposite of luxury and fame. But yeah, so for those of you on the chat who either don't remember or have a really terrible short-term memory, last year we had
Like me.
a Brick Film Christmas collaboration, 2017, in which Thistoff organized a group of brick filmers to work on a big Christmas special collaboratively. And now he's passed off the torch to our friend Slotborg here. And yeah, my mic probably does sound a bit soft right now. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Star Wars, let's try that. There we go.
Speak louder.
Let's see. I think I got it working now. Oof, today's just been a day for technical glitches and freaking everything to go wrong. There we go.
Pretty much, yeah.
So yeah, Christmas. I might have peaked there. Thistoff has passed off the torch to Slotborg. Slotborg has been working on a 25 brick films of Christmas. Do you want to explain kind of the rough idea behind it?
Okay, so we have 25 different animators, and each day in December, a new animation will be released.
In the style of an advent calendar, right?
Yeah, an advent calendar.
Cool. Okay, we got the mic fixed. Sweet. So, how did you come up with like the advent calendar idea?
I'm pretty sure it was Thistoff's idea, actually.
So you just kind of find a way to make it collaborative?
Yeah.
Cool.
We were originally gonna do basically exactly what we did last year, but then Thistoff came in and said that's not a very good idea, so we just did this.
So yeah, and I mean it works out. So I'm personally a very big fan of this new style of doing the collaboration.
I don't know. I was kind of hoping for Brick Film Christmas 2, breaking shot of airport jail. Seriously, it would have been the coolest. It would have been like, a heist scene, full on Mission Impossible, crawling through the depths of the airport and descending on a rope. And at the same time, we talk about Christmas and festivity and peace on Earth, goodwill to men as we beat up the bodyguards and break shot out of airport jail.
That would have been amazing.
I think, like, next year, maybe. Next year. But right now, we're talking about this year. So, we got the playlist in the description, and Trevor just linked it. Thank you, Trevor.
Yep. Already on it.
So, who has posted so far, and who can we expect to post?
Let's see. Today, we just posted a video by Plastic Point Productions. And upcoming, we have... Let's see. We have Awesome Pants. It's coming tomorrow. And Come on.
Loading, please wait.
It's super slow. Well, we got lots of toast and Trevor and Lainey, a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a fun time getting to see all these films out, especially considering in terms of animations, it's been very slow recently. I think outside of just the stuff Michael Hickox has released on repeat, it hasn't really been much.
I think it's
so
because
it's
a lot of us
exciting.
has been between school and big projects like this one. I know
Exactly,
Brickfilm Dave's
yeah.
been working on some stuff. You and I have been working on a little something. And now 25 Brickfilms for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
Chris and I have actually, I guess Chris, Jared, and I have we have a secretive little project we're working on right now. Sadly, we can't really give details on it or anything. We're not legally obligated to do that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
comes soon.
when the time comes, we'll have some cool stuff to show you guys. You're going to be I guess you could say you'll be a bit blown away by it.
It's going to be crazy. You could say it's going to be off the block. All right, now that I'm getting dangerously close to spoiling back to Christmas. So yeah, Trevor and I, we're also working on entries. Slopwork, are you working? No, you're the 25th. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I'm doing the finale.
There we go. Nice.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, Slot released a intro video for the playlist with him and a fantastic Christmas-themed attire. That was too good. I love it, man. It was great. And then, Trevor, what day are you?
So I'm supposed to be on the 21st, but I don't know. Some shifting might have to be done. I'm trying my hardest to work on getting the animation done as soon as possible. But yeah, it's coming along pretty well. I've almost finished the first 3 main scenes of the film, and I have a few more to do. I'm honestly probably gonna have to slim the project down a lot from what its final form is right now as a script. But I'm trying my hardest to fit as much as I can into it as possible. But expect something that's very much in the style of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. One of the best. The best Thanksgiving film of all time. Don't at me.
Oof! If you're gonna say Christmas, I pointed you to Die Hard.
Yeah, no, it's lots of people think it's a Christmas movie, but it's not. It's a Thanksgiving film, and if they say it's a Christmas film, you correct them, everybody. Okay, if anybody's gonna leave knowing anything today, that's what they need to know. Okay, the end.
Boom, we're solid. I'm assuming this is part of My Unlucky-ish Life.
Yes, so this will be the first episode that has been out since episode 5, which was the beginning of the year. I believe it was in March when I released that. So it's been a while. And funny enough, that one's all about snow and stuff. And guess what? This one is too. Haha. So
oof, that is the exact reason I haven't done a Bob and Randy Christmas thing, which I wanted to, but I would feel terrible trying to jump to another story in the middle of a story that's already in progress. So no Bob and Randy this Christmas. Sorry, guys.
That's all I wanted for Christmas is that.
All you want for Christmas is Bob and Randy? Well, I'm sorry, man, but between war and famine and all, you got your priorities backwards.
Oof.
Sad.
This is true.
That did not come off as funny as I wanted. I am doing a music video, though. It's gonna be pretty cool. This off, he contacted me a while back and said, "Hey, jump in on Slot's collab and ask for the Christmas Eve slot and do another kind of reason for the season thing." So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. I'm taking one of my all-time favorite songs. Don't worry, it has no screaming.
Oh boy.
Yep. So it's actually pretty tame. It's a song called "Fountain" by Wolves at the Gate. I'll spoil that part at least, but I've just been thinking about just Christmas in general, kind of the meaning behind it, kind of walking through the same thought process I did for last year. I wrote down just a whole bunch of notes, just kind of stream of consciousness. I'm thinking about themes and different aspects of the holiday and how we look at it, how we ideally should look at it, that kind of thing. And an idea just kind of clicked, and I'm so excited to see how this turns out. It's gonna kind of be more my more serious film vein. Kind of No Bargain was my first attempt at trying to create things that were a little more serious and thoughtful. I think this is gonna be the next one. Also, there's going to be some slow-mo stuff, effects with some water that's going to look really cool, hopefully. Which, shout out to Locker74 for helping me figure out how to do some spray bottle stuff with water, because that's going to make the effect even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be really exciting, and I think it's hopefully going to turn out really well, and especially for Christmas Eve, which that's kind of the penultimate, with Slopborgs being the ultimate. So yeah, it's
There's
gonna be
Sam
awesome.
Kicking in.
There you go, Sam. Hey, seriously, I'm gonna use that effect. I'm not sure if I want to do the rainwater quite yet, but we'll see how it looks. We'll see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hyped.
Yep.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right. Anything else you want to mention about the Brickfilm Christmas collab?
I don't think so.
Check the playlist every day.
There you go.
Yeah, make sure to watch every day.
Yep. Because unlike the City, Friends, and Star Wars advent calendars, this one won't disappoint you.
That's a good one.
For real though, Tangent.
Not gonna lie though, the what is it? The City one, just off topic a little bit. The City one doesn't actually look too bad this year. It doesn't look as samey necessarily as they usually are, but they usually never break much of their pattern year to year.
Yeah.
But
I haven't
that's
looked
besides
at all of them. I'm just looking through Brickset as they post each one by one. The Friends calendar, I think they're all just doing ornaments now, which is kind of boring. But I'm not the target demographic, so I can't say. And then,
exactly.
City, I mean, I didn't know it was a shuttle until they mentioned it was a shuttle, and like that just looks like a regular spaceship. Oh, that has more engineering flaws than. Okay, I'm not gonna make that joke. That's a pretty terrible joke. But
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Which the Star Wars one. That was the other one I was thinking of. It's actually a pretty nice looking land speeder, and I can't wait for the Last Jedi openings to get everyone angry.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yeah. But I guess straying away from that, we're gonna get into our other big main topic for the day. We want to talk a little bit about some of our favorite brick filming techniques. So this is kind of it's really just going to consist mostly of motion blurs, to be honest, or like different types of blurs, because that's just how brick filming is.
There's all kinds of different techniques you can pull off: motion blurs, different walk cycles, procrastination. That one's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's the best one. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But we just wanted to talk. We just wanted to talk a little bit about some of our favorite brick filming techniques on today's episode. So I don't know if one of you guys wants to kick it off first.
Procrastination. It's hands down my favorite. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. One of the tricks that I found, it's kind of a toss-up between editing and actually animating. I used this trick quite a few times in Bob and Randy 3, especially for the Free Baker introduction scene. And at the very end, when Bob first grabs the phone, if you tilt the camera and you turn it from one scene to another scene, and you transition, what's called the scene, so it looks like the camera is moving along. So yeah, kind of like what SWS is saying there, like a dolly shot. But what you do in editing is then you add a bit of a motion blur during those transition frames, so it kind of creates this blur effect as it quickly switches from one scene to the next.
Yep.
That's one that's kind of been my favorite, and I hope to reuse because I think I like how it turned out in Bob and Randy 3. It was really great. If I do say so.
I've never actually done any motion blur or anything, but I love the brick-built motion blurs that they have in the Lego movies.
Yeah, dude, I think that's probably one of my favorites. I mean, thinking about it, I probably have used like all the techniques we're going to talk about today, except for the squash and stretch stuff. But I actually soon won't be able to say that I haven't used that anymore, because I do actually have a few spots in episode 6 for the Christmas collab that I have been using that technique a little bit. That's one that I really don't think many people at all have really ever used. It's usually, though, if anything, when they're trying to really emphasize like really fast motions, it's usually like just brick built stuff. So yeah, but I'm kind of using a bit of I'm going to use a couple different methods for doing all that all that kind of stuff. So,
which would be pretty awesome. I know one of the things
Mm-hmm.
I love about My Lucky Life, and it's going to sound like I'm totally brown nosing for that eventual crossover, and I totally am. But I love how it takes a lot. Like each episode adapts as it goes. Like you noticed, you introduce a new technique here, new technique there. Especially with the boulder blockade, the colors are amazing. And then slippery slope, you just went overboard, above and beyond with the motion blur effects. So I'm really excited to see what you're doing with episode 6. I wish I could say I could do something like that for my Christmas collab, but it wouldn't fit the tone. And
yeah, that makes
episode
sense.
4 is kind of more like a conspiracy and drama than, say, action scenes. So I probably can't put it in there. That being said, I really want to use some of these techniques in future animations. Just putting out the comments here because this is too funny not to mention. Sebastian says his favorite brick filming technique is frame blending.
Disgusting.
No. Dragon Brick Studio says his favorite technique is still frames. No. But to be fair though, Dan Tenaglia's Ninjago The Future Is Now, a lot of still frames for dialogue, but he just compensates in just big ways with the lighting and the story. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of still frames, I'm not the kind of guy to shame it forever and just be like, curse you to the depths.
See, that's the thing. So I've always used still frames, but like I've never like I don't think I've ever excessively used it to the point where like it's super noticeable. Like when I'm doing dialogue, I still try my hardest to stick to actually giving the characters like motion or like an insinuation that they're talking while dialogue is actually being heard. But there are a lot of times where like at the beginning and ending of a scene, I'll just have like a bunch of still frames, and it doesn't really seem like people care or seem to notice, except for Austin, because he's just like that.
Awesome.
he's called me out on that a few times, but yeah, sometimes too though I just find it to be useful because like when you're having like light flicker and stuff, like one of the scenes I just did last night, I was having a lot of issues with light flickers, so I kept continually having to just take a picture and keep deleting it and retaking the picture a few times until like the lighting actually matched up between all the shots. And to kind of save myself some time, there were a few spots where I did, hold the frames out and stuff. So I think if you just don't do it excessively, it's not noticeable, and therefore people kind of just don't care that it's there.
Yep.
But
have you heard of the 7-second rule? Yeah. I almost said 7-segment display. That's a circuits thing. The 7-second rule basically says that if you are keeping something still, like a frame or a sound, for longer than 7 seconds, that's right about when people start freaking out and getting disinterested. So
yeah, I've never done that. So I think there is a shot so far in episode 6 where there is something that's there for about 5 seconds, but after watching it last night, I think I'll probably shave it down a bit, to be honest.
Well, if it's an interesting shot, like if people need a bit of time to look through it and see everything that's going on, then it kind of works okay. But generally, you want something moving or something to kind of keep the eye interested. And sound also helps as well. I've seen this with many Bionicle brick films, unfortunately. They'll do a shot of a character, and they'll be talking. But the talking will be just so boring because it's nothing really relative to the plot. They're throwing around words like Rahi, Makuda, Kuma Stone, blah, 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 blah. And like, okay, the sound's automatically boring. The shot is just a zoom in very subtly on the character. The shot is boring. I'm out. Which I think is unfortunately the downfall of so many different Bionicle brick films. Because it's hard to animate those things, but you need to keep the audience interested. And it's very difficult to do that when half of your universe is based off of words that people need a wiki to find and figure out what they are.
That's pretty true.
Community, I kind of am, but it's true. So
yeah.
That Bionicle's dead. Rip G2.
Sad.
Top sad.
Yep. Although,
but yeah.
I guess on a quick tangent there, one thing I did find that I found no one was doing So, do any of you remember those little Bionicle figures in the Happy Meals?
Yep.
Yes.
Like the ones with like the really weird feet and the arms that look like they're in a constant hugging mode or something. I found you can actually
Yeah.
animate with those pretty well if you use Technic joints between the body and the hand. So instead of just attaching the hand directly on the body, you can put some joints in between, and it gives you a little more motion to work with.
Huh.
So that was a fun
That's
technique to
pretty
just kind of hide some technic in there, because the mask and the head cover up a lot of the area around that joint, so you can put in some extra bricks, and suddenly, boom, this static little dude that looks like he's gonna hug your face like something from Alien. Now you don't have to worry because you actually have some range of movement. Gosh,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and going back to what is it, the brick built motion blur? I mean, it's this thing where like I think that's why people like the Lego movies so much, is because I don't think before the Lego movie came out it was really a technique that many people even bothered to use. Like I think it was Benny who was like the one of the ones you could see it like most prominently with in his spaceship tangent.
Spaceship! Sorry.
Spaceship!
I got really excited.
Yeah. But like it's kind of, it's super cool how they all, like, these guys were, you know, animating this film. Like I don't think many of them were necessarily part of the actual like brick filming community or anything. I know that there were tons of influences and stuff from the brick filming community on the style of the film. But it's really cool how, like, you know, most of those people probably haven't made brick films before. They basically created this new technique that then in turn was used by the community that they actually got inspiration from. I think that's super cool. Like, because I don't think many people really ever bothered to do like brick built motion blurs in really any brick films prior to 2014. And then, you know, they just kind of revolutionized it for all of us.
I see the
is
Lego movies as the ultimate love letter to brick filming. Like
exactly.
The way that they take what we do and put it on a big screen, and then in return they're just like, and here's a little something that you can try now that we've done it in CGI. I'm like, it's too kind. It's too kind. You warm my heart.
And honestly, I think it's cool too, though, how not even with like the motion blur stuff, but they'll also do a lot of like blurs and things where they just have repeats of pieces. Like I remember when they had offered the Lego movie to watch for free on Black Friday for everybody, like as an ad and stuff. I was watching one of the scenes. It's the one where they're in the Old West and they're on that makeshift car that Wildstyle throws together. There's this scene where Emmett is like on the car and he's like trying to balance, and he loses his balance a bit. So he like starts like swinging his arms in like a circle. And what they did for that is it kind of cheats, you know, the actual like physical brick, because all the pieces were literally stemming out of like the same like spot. But they used 4 different arm pieces on each arm, all in sort of like a pinwheel shape to represent him like spinning his arms.
Yeah, I noticed that.
In like
and they've
that
done that several
circular
times
motion.
in the Lego Ninjago movie, like when Garmadon's teaching Lloyd how to throw.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like they're like I think the Ninjago movie is really where they perfected it, is just because like it's insane how like the smears that they have are like so big and you don't even notice like any of them. It's absolutely nuts.
They do a good job. Like they do a fantastic job with just keeping that fluidity, but keeping it still Lego. Now, granted, some of that stuff we can't pull off, but if you do recall, there was a one of the sets for Solo: A Star Wars Story. The one character who has 4 arms, and they just basically kind of glued 2 arms together for him. If you get a couple of those, you might be able to cheat the same effect. Unfortunately, you'll only be able to do it with dark blue arms, but you could do the same thing. You guys know the set I'm talking about?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his name's Rio, is that character, the guy who was played by Jon Favreau.
What? Rio was in Solo? He better have said sub to Pong Owl at some point, I swear.
Oh goodness.
Edit together some of his voice lines. You can make him say it.
Yes, please. Yes. Slopborg, please. We need this.
We do. Honestly, Toast, if he's watching right now, he's gonna get like right on that, I'm sure.
Yep.
Toast, please.
Toast, get on it. All right.
Yeah, but it's like honestly, like look, like the Batman movie, there isn't much, of like many brick film techniques in that. The Lego movie kind of, starts the trend, and I think just like what the Ninjago movie lacks, sort of in story and I don't know, I guess coherent enjoyability for most. I'm just speaking on behalf of how most of the community looks at the film. Personally, I'm fine with it. I think.
I mean,
I think what it lacks in terms of certain components, it makes up for it again in the animation style, because it's nuts. Like I even noticed the shot in that film where where like Lloyd gets on the bus and all the kids are trying to avoid him. So they all like are sitting on the one side of the bus. The new animation that Michael Hickok's uploaded yesterday, Lego School Bus, creatively titled.
Oh wow! I wonder what the film is about. It is probably about
right?
a school bus, and it is
I'm
Lego.
so curious.
And the way
But it
I
basically
described
uses the
this
same
video
technique.
robotically, I've described all his videos.
Oh my gosh!
Error. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it basically like copies the same thing. Just this time, all the kids decide to go to the back instead of like one of the sides. So it looks really bizarre though the way he pulls it off. But that's besides the point, I guess. So. Yeah, but another thing too that I don't think a lot of people utilize is like actual in-camera motion blur. So there's stuff like where Kevin Ulrich uses it in his Age of Ultron trailer recreation. There's the scene where Hulk is like throwing that car at the Hulkbuster, and for like the background, like for the facades of some of the buildings, to make the car actually stay like in focus and have the background like kind of zoom past a bit further without having to do a ton of editing and post. He keeps the shutter speed really, I think, really slow, and he allows for he'll hit the shoot button on hit the camera, and he'll move the set while he is taking the picture. And I actually use that a ton in Ripped Away. It's like most prominently seen in a lot of the hoverboarding shots. But yeah, that's something I need to try and get back to using again.
Be a good one. Another one that I've also heard
Mm-hmm.
too is where you use like a piece of frosted glass or plastic between your foreground and your background to kind of create that blurred, far away feel. I'm like,
yeah,
I gotta use that. I have to use that at some point in my life.
Yeah, especially with this film I'm trying to do now, like all the sets I'm building them very small just to make up for the I guess you could say the lack of time, the crunch that I'm on right now with having to get this done soon. But yeah, like that would help a lot because almost all the settings I have, the sets for these are really supposed to be designed like very large, and I'm definitely one who's very detail oriented, so I will try my hardest to put all those details in everything. So that would help a lot with, I'm sure, quite a few of the big expansive scenes I have to put together. So
hey, maybe give it a shot. Although I know what you're gonna do, Trev, and I know what is gonna happen. Don't be perfectionist on this one. All you gotta do is finish.
yeah, that's really all I'm focusing on right now. It's annoying too because I think the one thing I'm trying to focus on the most is the lighting, because this will all actually be like in like more of a darker setting. Most of the shots are taking place, so I want to really hammer home my creative licenses in lighting. But that'll probably also kind of have to get pushed to the side for this project as well. THAC will probably be when I play around with a lot of lighting stuff too, and I guess my horror film as well. So I've got more chances to do it, I guess. So
there we go.
Yeah.
And I guess
but
also
again, going back.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was going to say something sarcastic again, but it's not going to further the podcast, so go for it.
Sarcasm. Who uses that around here? Am I right?
I was just going to
Literally
remind you
all of
that we're
us.
not allowed to watch the Lego Movie 2 trailer.
Yeah, just don't. You're making me sad now. What the heck? It's my birthday. I thought I was supposed to be a happy boy.
Happy birthday to That was beautiful.
Magic. That's the only way to describe that. But going back to the in-camera motion blurs.
Sorry, go ahead.
I really haven't seen many people use they haven't used motion blur, like in-camera motion blur, on their actual subjects. And I remember I had tried to find any shots where I had used that, and I know I have. It's so hard to find them. It's because they only show up for 1 or 2 frames at a time in very specific scenes. But there are a lot of times where like I'll have just a subject that's like I'll kind of have them if it's something that's like flying, I'll kind of have it so that the like whatever what's the word, whatever mount or whatever I'm using to like actually hold it up in the air. If I'm actually like holding it myself, I'll usually kind of like wiggle the subject a little bit. Or like if I have them set up with sticky tack and they start to fall over, but that's the kind of action I'm going for, I'll just let them fall as the camera takes the picture. And hopefully my shutter speed is actually slow enough to the point where you can actually see them falling a bit. So it does give a little bit of that blur to the whole character or the whole subject as it's moving. So that's something cool. I want to see from a lot more people. But I think it's really something I've only seen in my films, but I'm sure other people have used it. Again, it's just really, really hard to find when you're actually going through and watching a film if you're not, scouring through it frame by frame.
Yeah, and especially since like those of us with webcams, we can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it's
not that's why you gotta upgrade, dude.
I would, but actually that DSLR that I bought off of Mercari, the seller never contacted me again like a week afterwards. So I canceled it through Mercari, got a refund, and I'm like, whew, I think I dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, that's annoying though. I want you to get a DSLR, to be honest.
Oh, I want to get one too.
Yeah, it's something that it's something that a lot of people need to get. If you don't have a DSLR, you should get one. Just saying.
Well, okay, you should learn how to use your webcam to the fullest, and then naturally upgrade to a DSLR once you go.
Mm-hmm.
Before we have a whole bunch of people going over and being like, "I'm gonna buy a DSLR," and they drop $1K or something, and next thing you know, it's like, I'm not using it for anything. I literally use this to prop my door open. That's actually really sad. Oh gosh. Wow. I did get a GoPro though last Black Friday. Like, I'm not one of those people who wants to beat people over the head for Black Friday, but if there's something on sale and I was looking at it for a long while, I might just look into it. And so I've been thinking about getting a GoPro for a while. In the forefront of my mind, I'm thinking slow-mo shots in brick filming when I want to do something in live action on the frame, i.e. what I might do for my Christmas collab. But, you can't just say that to, everyone who asks you, why do you want to get a GoPro? So I said skiing. I'm so lame. But anyways, I managed to get one and got some accessories for it because the deal was that you could get a gift card if you bought the GoPro, and then I used that to buy some accessories. So I'm slightly closer to DSLR, I guess. I'm kind of off in like the wrong direction, but I have somewhat upgraded from a webcam, at least for these slow-mo scenes that I want to do.
Yeah. It was at this moment that Chris knew he was poor.
Ish.
That's just how it's always been, though. Ish.
Ish.
Yeah. Ish.
One day I'll have enough money for my full Lego budget and that city layout that I want to do in the basement. But it is not this day.
A man can dream.
A man can dream. He'll be disappointed, but he can dream. Give up on your dreams, kids.
Yeah. They don't come true. I shouldn't be saying that.
Why
I really am.
Why are we doing this? We're going to get in such trouble. We don't even have a legal
We
team.
are. Tom's our legal team. Oh, wait, he's not with us anymore, Rip.
I think Tom was just terrified by all the legal doings. Now, JK, he's doing school, which we should actually be doing. Come to think of it.
Pretty much.
Slopboard, what are you doing here? Go do school.
Oh, sorry. It's Saturday.
Grad school
doesn't
care if it's Saturday.
man.
Yep. Oh well.
Rip.
Oof.
But
Well, we kind of covered techniques, and we also covered some of the call them techniques, or just kind of the general ways in which brick filmers cause problems that are outside the camera. There we go.
Well, actually, I do want to mention one more thing because I was watching it earlier again. It's Squid, Harrison Allen, Annoying Noises Productions. In his Brawl film, The Court of Conundrums, he actually uses one of the shots that he has with the king. I believe what he does is he has like some lighting technique where he on Twitter, I believe he posted a picture of like some of the behind the scenes stuff for it to achieve like a certain effect, like that kind of looks like mist for the camera. He actually like waves a tissue in front of it, like he leaves a really long shutter speed on the camera, and he takes a picture while he's moving this tissue in front of the camera lens, and it's really interesting. So that's something that would be cool to see people use. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to find the actual example and link it, just due to the time that we're on right now. But
let's look at it later.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, I would recommend going out and checking him on Twitter, looking for that effect. So
cool. We are coming up at the end of the podcast, though. Trevor has to run and do birthday things like I don't know, birthday.
Shopping.
Birthday stuff. Going out.
Yeah, it's actually
gonna go buy
singular
some
and plural
stuff.
cool stuff. But yeah, so happy birthday. You're now a year closer to dying than you were a year ago.
Oh, well, thanks.
We should just read this Frame100 podcast, S4E6, Trevor's worst birthday. Thanks, Chris.
Pretty much.
Slot. Sorry you had to see that.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you to everybody in the chat who's been wishing me a happy birthday. Being 18 is weird. Being an adult, it's odd. It doesn't feel normal.
Sweeping the nation. Oh well. One thing I do want to point out though, before we close up, because it showed at the very beginning of the podcast, and I think the audio might not have shown up actually, based off of Laner's earlier comments. But in addition to the Christmas collab and with upcoming events and such, there is a big end-of-year contest happening. Brick-a-Brack's Brickstars 2018. So you're going to want to go over to Brick-a-Brack and send in your best brick film of 2018. As long as it's made between January 1st, 2018 and December 31st, 2018. If you want, you can be Rio and make your entry 4 hours before the submission deadline and then send it. But if you do that, well, procrastination is a bad thing, and you may not win one of the beautiful 10 Lego sets that are offered up for prizes. And we're doing 20 total prizes, 10 for the English side, 10 for the French side. Brick-a-Brack is... They're just, freaking out in the comments. I'm loving the enthusiasm here, but it's going to be a big event. So you're definitely going to want to sign up for that. And also...
Win Lego, it's free.
Win Lego, it's free. Also, I kind of narrated the video, so, you have an inside man. I'm kidding. Nice. But what's the fun thing about the video is we decided to do a montage of all of the films that were voted as Brick Film of the Month on the French side and on the English side. And Torment was actually in that, Trevor. And then I also had Dishonored. And then we had some other favorites like, let's see. Thistoff's Reception. I remember that for sure. MB Studio had a really cool one. And then it was funny. Some of the French ones I hadn't watched. So I watched them before putting them into the montage. Oh, thanks, Brick-a-Brack. I love you guys. But yeah, just wanted to throw out some Brickstars, advertisement there. And as we're wrapping up, just also want to wrap 25 Brick Films of Christmas. That's going to be awesome. Check out the playlist, sub to our boy Slot, and stay tuned for more Frame100 podcast.
Exactly, guys. We will see you next week for the next episode.
As we count down to... I don't know what we're counting down to. We're counting down to something. Anyways,
the end of the year, I guess.
Yep.
And Christmas.
There we go. Joy to the world. So yeah, stay tuned to the playlist, submit to Brickstars, and everyone stay awesome.